last year in the fall, we were able to go with our family on a Canada New England cruise. And after doing Alaska and the Caribbean, we kind of were looking at ideas of what would be another cruise option out there. And then we kind of in the past had gone to Bar Harbor and Maine, and we rented a car and went up the coast, and it was amazing. So and we went to Boston as well, and so we thought this cruise was a no-brainer. We went with Princess, and what was it, the Emerald Princess, and really enjoyed ourselves. And so we're going to go over some pros and cons, because after doing this cruise, I kind of in my own self just realized there's specific people this cruise is perfect for, but then there's some people that it's probably not best suited for them. And that's what I'm going to start by just talking about. A lot of people do this cruise because they're looking for fall foliage, because that's what they push through all the
marketing.
The marketing is come see the fall colors, and so we booked this cruise expecting to see a lot of fall colors, and we really didn't see too many fall colors. There were some leaves that were pretty in Rhode Island. We saw a couple trees that were really vibrant and pretty. But for the most part, it was a pretty area, but the fall foliage was not what they push it to be. And I feel like if you want fall foliage, you can go up and down the West Coast where we used to live, and it was very vibrant. You could probably go to Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains and see some really vibrant, and I'm sure Maine gets vibrant at certain times, but if you're looking for your cruise to give you fall foliage, you have a lot of factors you're going to have to really line up in a row and be perfect for you to actually be there at the exact time as the fall foliage. So know this when booking your cruise for the Canada New England cruise, that you may not get fall foliage like you're wanting. Do you have anything to add about the fall foliage, or your thoughts on?
I mean, it's beautiful, and when you see the New England area during the fall, it's wonderful. But the timing is difficult to time, especially if you book a cruise months and months in advance, you may miss the fall foliage by a week. And so we went towards the end of October last year, and from the way it looks, we were about 1 week too soon. And the same thing happened in 2015 when we flew out to Maine for a vacation. When we got there, everything was so beautiful and green, and it actually started to change at the week we were there. And so we have pictures from that trip where when we got there, it was all green, and then the same drive back to the airport was all fall. And so that is the one thing. Don't bank on fall foliage for a New England cruise. Cruise to New England because you want to see New England, not just because you want to see fall colors. Because fall colors may be a week off from when you're there, and you can't just change your cruise by a week at a whim. Well, you might be able to, but not everybody can. And so just keep that in mind. When you see it and it's there, it's amazing. But don't bank on that being the reason you would go. Like, New England has a lot of amazing things to offer. So when you go to New England, make sure you're going for a plethora of reasons, not just to see fall foliage.
And our first port was Rhode Island. We didn't even think we'd ever go to Rhode Island. It was on the agenda, and we ended up going there. It was nice. We also went to Boston and Bar Harbor, St. John, Canada, and Halifax, Canada. And overall, it was a really fun trip. But I do really believe that if you have any situations where you don't like to walk a lot, or if you don't like shuttles or the tender boats, because two of the ports you're having to take tender boats in, Bar Harbor and Rhode Island. So that makes it you have to really plan your time and your day on that, because the lines could get pretty long. So know that, and love exploring. So it was a really fun cruise, but like I said, if you're someone that doesn't like tender boats, most likely two of the ports are going to be, you're going to be, tender boating in and waiting in long lines. And then I would say between Boston and Bar Harbor, you're going to walk a lot. Like Boston, when you park there, when the ship comes in there and it's at the port, you have a mile or two before you're actually anywhere that you probably want to be. And so we just got off and Ubered into town, and that was fine for us, but just giving you the information so that you can make the best choice for yourself. Personally, if I was to recommend the Canada New England cruise to somebody, it would be to somebody that loves New England, somebody that maybe has been to Alaska and loves Alaska, because if you love Alaska, it kind of has a lot of that feel in a more, I don't even know how to say it, like it's just the culture is so fun in New England. I love it. And just you know when you go to Alaska, you have a lot of the mountains and the scenery and the just, if you're someone like me, you can just look out your window and you're just filled with excitement. Some people don't have that, you know, they're if you're looking for tons of, you know, excitement and entertainment everywhere, the Canada New England cruise may not be for you, because it is a lot of nature and, you know, like Cadillac Mountain.
Nature, and then you've got a lot of New England culture. Yeah. And so like that's one of the things we loved about it, is because every area we went to had its own little subculture, and we enjoyed that, and its own, you know, food items that were specific to that area, which was really fun. And the history. I mean, that's a lot of the same thing with Alaska and New England. It has a lot of culture, it has a lot of nature, and it has a lot of history. And so if those are things you enjoy, which for us, we love history, we love culture, we love food and different kinds of food. That's why we love New England. I love New England. I would go back this year again to do the Canada New England cruise, especially because there were places at certain ports that we did not get to see that I would love to go back to, especially in like Newport, Rhode Island. There was a Audubon museum that I would love to go back and see. And so if you love the culture and the diversity and the food and nature, this cruise itinerary has a lot to offer in those regards.
Now, if you're somebody that is on the fence and you're just looking at what cruise you should book, and you're someone that, because a lot of people, and we have family members that are that way, that they love ships and they love the entertainment on certain ships, and they want the flashy, they want the water slides, and I'm not saying Canada and New England can't give you that, but this cruise is more geared towards the same type of people that would go on the Alaska cruise. And it's more you want to take pictures, you want to see animals, you want, you know, even when you go to Canada, you're going to, you know, the Titanic museums, and you're going to, you know, just explore those things. And those things are great. And like I said, if you have problems where it's hard to walk or you don't want to walk a lot, you can still do this cruise and enjoy it. But just in the back of your mind, know that it's going to take a little more time, because you may have to use Uber, and you may, you know,
it takes more planning with your itinerary and planning with your excursions to make sure that you're able to walk and get to all of the different places that you want to see. And so we didn't end up getting to see the Titanic graveyard because it was just too far. We hadn't booked an excursion that would get us from where the cruise was all the way to where the graveyard is, because it's not near the Maritime Museum or the Titanic Museum is what people call it. So those are not near each other, and so you can't just walk it. I mean, I'm sure you could, but it would be very hard, and it's a long walk.
Now, if you are somebody that maybe has gone to Alaska already, and maybe you've done a Caribbean cruise and you're just like, well, what else is out there? Maybe I'll check out Canada, New England. Then it could be a good option for you. But just in going into that, know that it's a different experience than what you're going to see on the other cruises. It's totally amazing. Like, we had video of just the sunrise in Bar Harbor, and you know, from what we were hearing, it was the first sunrise in America for the day, and stuff like that to me is pretty amazing. And so I know that they may have a couple different ports. You know, you may go to Portland, Maine instead of Bar Harbor, which we love Portland, Maine, the lighthouse and the scenery. And if you love lobster rolls, there's lobster rolls at pretty much every port. So it's an amazing cruise. If you love Boston, if you love the culture and you love that, this could be an amazing cruise for you. And I do think you could have a great time. And we had a great time. We would do this again. Like I said, I would definitely check out a couple different ports because we did this, we enjoyed it, but it has a different feel to me than Alaska. Alaska, I could go and do the same, Ketchikan and Juneau and Sitka and Glacier Bay. And I can do that over and over. With this cruise, it kind of had the feel, if I was going back, I want to see different ports, because as much as I enjoyed it, it was pretty tiring to, walk so much in every one of these ports. And
Other thing to consider, the cruise itinerary we did, we had 6 ports, I believe, in 7 days. And so we only had 1 sea day. And it's the first time I've ever had the experience where there was so many ports and so little time at sea that you get tired. I was really surprised. I mean, and we did walk every port. We didn't do an excursion in any of the ports. And so we walked a lot in every port we went to. And so, which was fun. That's what we love to do. We love to walk cities. We love to explore. We love to see history. You can go read all the historical markers on the outside of these buildings that have been there for 200 years. I love that kind of stuff. And so I would go back just because I want to see more of it. Yeah. But it was tiring. I was surprised at how tired I was because there was so much to do on the 7-day cruise, which is great. You're paying for a 7-day cruise. It's really great when you can see so much and do so much in 7 days, but I was surprised at how tired I was from all of that.
I do agree, and I kind of forgot how tired I was because maybe I was going on adrenaline and excitement, but just thinking about it, it kind of reminded me of those mornings because it's like, oh wow, we're at a port again, okay, and the next morning and you're up and you're running and you're walking and you just your legs, especially in Canada, those Canada ports, those. I mean,
and we walked all the way to the Citadel, did the whole tour, and then had to walk all the way back to the ship.
Yeah, but if you do go to Halifax, you definitely want to see the Citadel. That was pretty amazing. Yeah. But if you've ever done the Canada New England cruise and you have any comments or you'd like to add anything, please feel free to leave a comment below. We love to respond to comments and hear about different people's adventures and maybe what their thoughts are because I'm no expert. I'm just giving you information so that you can make the best choice for what's best for you. And I know when we were looking at Canada New England cruise, it was hard sometimes to find certain information online. And I would do what you guys are probably doing, just searching, okay, what's the port look like? Am I going to have to walk? Is there transportation? And all those things. So if you have any of those types of questions and if we can help, please leave a comment and we'll get back to you on that. And